Let's see. Says I'm going live. Hopefully I'm streaming on the right one.
Hopefully the alert will just pop up on my tablet.
It's always the case that I streamed the wrong one.
See, Going Nerdy has just gone live. Play.
I always create an event. I say that it's going to stream to it, and then I stream to an entirely different one, and it's infuriating.
Well, I can see us, but it does say it's Galaxy of Heroes GAC 3v3.
I don't get it. I changed it and everything.
Well, you didn't change it because it still says the same thing. So you didn't.
My goodness, I did lie, and I'm not trying. I'm not trying to lie.
It did change it. So you want to change the title real quick so I can post? Old Luke versus me.
Old Luke, and I won that one. Talking Mando, the Heiress, baby Yoda, and more Mandos. Mother curse words. All right, public, not gaming. We are entertainment. Upload thumbnail. Doop. Select playlist. Talking Star Wars. And go through the tags some other time. All right, saved. Let us begin, ladies and gentlemen. What in the absolute crap is that? Anyways, welcome.
There we go. Now it says it. We could start in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Star Wars Talking Mando. Not affiliated with Star Wars or The Mandalorian yet. But one day.
Mm-hmm.
One day.
Definitely affiliated with talking.
Definitely affiliated with talking. So I am joined today, as always, but with Paul and Nev from the Escape Podcast. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hello, sir.
Now,
let's start talking.
I do have to acknowledge there is a presence that is absent from here. She will join us again next week. Geek Girl 1980 will be back next week. She just had to take some time. I honestly think that what it came down to is she couldn't wait till Sunday to watch the episode. And I don't blame her if that was the case. But wherever she is, she will be back with us next week. So, Nev, do you want to start us off? Because
just so much happened. It's like where to begin. It's like it was just awesome. This is without a doubt the best episode of The Mandalorian aired ever. Just ever. Better than better than anything from season 1. This was it. This was the episode. All right. This was the episode.
Neil,
so goddamn awesome.
Neil, explain to me why a ship that has space travel needs ships on water. You're the one complaining about this before we even started.
It doesn't need it. But there was that much awesomeness in the episode that it completely negated all of the niff, naff, and trivia. It just got rid of the lot. It just got rid of all of it.
What was so we got to point this out. What was awesome about this was the last episode, or at the beginning of this episode, Nev was like, "Why? Why do they need ships? Why do they need boats?" And we started talking about like Mon Calamari, or Mon Cal, and all this other stuff. And I was like, "All right, whatever." But no, I mean, this is awesome that Nev is this enthusiastic about the episode.
Oh my God, yes.
So, episode starts. So first off, 35 minutes. This is only a 35-minute episode. This is the shortest episode we've seen this season, and amongst the shortest so far across the board. Right? They've
gone for quality over quantity.
I was a little disappointed that it was shorter, but you're right, Nev. They did pack a lot of stuff here, and It's very impressive. So it starts off, we've got the Razor Crest flying in through to Trask. They are landing, and they make their. The ship is destroyed. The ship is just. There's like
it's bolts and it's a bucket of bolts.
Yeah.
If Leia was flying on it, she'd have called it a bucket of bolts.
Yeah. I mean, this makes the Millennium Falcon look like it was still owned by Lando Calrissian. I mean, like this is it's trash. It's space trash, and it's coming into orbit, and it is crashing, absolutely crashing. And what was awesome about this is Baby Yoda's face. I gotta say that was hilarious. As he's watching, as he's falling, he's like giggling, and we get our first kind of sight gag of the episode where he's about to make landing. Everything's looking great, and then teeters into the water.
I laughed because I was thinking to myself, it's going to run out of fuel like 6 foot from the platform, and it's just going to come crashing down. So when one of the engines cut out and it teetered over in the water, I was in stitches. I just thought, okay, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah,
I really wasn't. So, and that's what, because I was thinking to myself, it's going to crash and fall flat on its belly, and you're going to want me to laugh. Yeah. But I can see it coming. You're telegraphing that this is the joke, so I'm not going to laugh.
Yeah.
And then it fell in the water, and I was like, yeah, yes, that was funny. Yes.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. Like I was expecting it to just drop, and I would have given a giggle. I'm like, it fell. I was not expecting the engine to blow out and it to topple sideways. We do know that the cockpit is waterproof. That's always a plus. They land. Frog Lady gets out and starts croaking for her husband, and there's a tearful reunion. I assume. I don't speak Frog, and the closed captions were in Frog, so it just said like Frog people speaking, I think.
Frog shouting or frog
frog croaking.
They won't. It's one of the things I would like them to put what they're saying at the bottom in subtitles, like they did with the movies. I don't know why they've moved away from that. I genuinely don't. It's irksome because I want to know what they're saying. Okay, not everybody is a mind reader, so it irks me that they don't do that, and I really, really hope that they start doing it now. Moving forward, they need to do it. I
understand that, but I think that at the same time, it might take away from it because you have to read, and then you get the other side of the conversation, and I think the other side of the conversation with Mandalorian, with whoever, I mean, so far it's only been with the Mandalorian. Well, I guess the mechanic Peli from the for previous episode, but I think they do it well enough job or good enough job that they don't need to do that. But I can totally see what you're saying, Nev. I think
play the Han Solo Greedo scene from episode 4 to someone that's never watched Star Wars before and look at their face. They'll be like, what's he saying? I don't know what he's saying. And that and run back over in your head what Han Solo's responses is. There is no way that you could get from context what he's saying.
No, I get that.
So Greedo says, you're lucky he may only take your ship. And Han's like, over my dead. People will be like, well, what did he say? What over his dead body?
Yeah.
So subtitles for subtitles for species that are not speaking standard need to be on the screen.
And I get that.
Needs to be there. Okay. I might have shed a tear.
Speaking basic, by the way.
Basic. I might have shed a tear. If I'd known what those two were saying to each other, I might have shed a tear. I have no idea what they're saying. I don't know if I should be emotionally invested in what's going on or not. They are just two aliens that mean absolutely nothing to me because I don't understand what they're saying.
No, I gotta say that it's probably better for me not to have done it because, actually no, I think you're right, because the words that I put in the husband's frog's, daddy frog's mouth, were probably not appropriate and definitely not what he would have said. Because here I'm thinking, like, you know, he's been alone on this barge for however long.
Give me some sugar, baby.
Exactly. That's where I thought, because you saw what he did. He took the eggs, he put them aside, and immediately went to his woman. And that's...
Yeah, oh, baby, I can't wait to fertilize your eggs.
Give me some of that sugar, mama. Definitely. Like, frog-related sex joke. I don't have one. Anyways, so...
See, look, or they could even hire Ranger to do his Kermit voice.
That's true.
In fact, I think someone needs to send a message to Ranger, because they're not giving us subtitles and we have no idea what Daddy Kermit is saying. I think we should rip that from Disney, okay, and get Ranger to do something funny.
Just that scene. I think it's doable.
That scene.
Yeah. I think it'd be more than doable.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Again, and you do bring up a good point, because there aren't subtitles. There's not a whole lot of emotion that goes into these characters. You don't care that Baby Yoda's been eating their children.
No, I don't.
Right. Although I do think that there's going to be some subtext later on with those frog eggs, and I want to talk about that in a bit. But like, so we get through it. He's introduced to. They go to the bar, and they're like, "Hey, I'm going to pay you in, you know, what would you call those? Gummies, lifesaver gummies."
What? No, they're calamari flan. You remember he got paid them after his first job in season 1.
Yeah, lifesaver gummies.
So he's been sitting on that currency for ages.
How has that?
They're the pineapple lifesavers, though, so they're really, really good. Thad.
Okay, well that makes sense. It's like Beskar itself; they're very rare in the universe, and you know, people want them, and so there's value to them. How do they not melt? I mean, they look like gummies.
They're like what's those gloves, the heat resistant rubberish looking
neoprene
stuff no the word, it'll come to me. I can't think of it at the moment. My head is, I'm still fried from that episode. Okay. So many thoughts. It's like, episode 4 season 2 is going to be the most watched show on Disney Plus next week. It is going
oh yeah, no, absolutely.
We need to do a watch party immediately after the show on Friday, because I don't think we are going to be able to avoid spoilers for that show. I don't think it's going to be possible.
I'm absolutely down with that.
Okay, we need to pass that with Geek Girl.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She might still be at work.
Yeah. Because
I just don't think it is going to be physically possible to avoid spoilers for that episode for 2 days.
So we could do just a watch party and then still do Talking Mando on Sunday.
Yeah, no, that's what.
Or we can do a watch party at 3 a.m. when it comes out right away.
Oh, that's gonna suck.
No, it wouldn't, because we'd still be excited.
You would. I'd have to get up in 2 hours to teach middle school kids.
Or you go to bed early the next day and you just get up a little earlier.
I guess
just get in touch with the school and say, I need to do a Zoom class on that day, and then all you have to do is roll out of bed, turn on the computer, and go, right, students, read pages 25 to 35.
Yeah. They have.
Have you read it yet?
Every Friday they've asked me, they're like, "Can we watch The Mandalorian?" I'm like, "No, we can't watch The Mandalorian. Stop asking me. I can't. I want to, but I can't." Okay.
Just do just do what what's his face does from AP Bio. Walk into the classroom, throw an apple at the wall, tell everyone to hurry up and shut up, sit down on your chair and go to sleep.
That's why the show was canceled, Nev. It's like it's. Anyways.
No. It was canceled because the final season was horrendous.
I didn't see the final season. I saw the first 2 seasons.
First 2 seasons were great. Season 3 was like, I'm sorry, but fire the writers. And you just told me it got canceled. So clearly the writers did get fired. It's like, you You lost it after season 2. But yeah, just do an AP bio. Walk in, apple at the wall, hurry up and shut up, sit down, go to sleep.
I'll see what I can do. Now, I will say, they walk into the bar. He pays them the money. I kind of was hoping that Quarren was a good guy. But no, the Quarren takes him offshore for apparently no reason, right? Or I guess no reason, to get the Beskar.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to wonder though, why is Beskar so rare? Is it really something that's that rare? I mean, like, I don't know.
Clearly, it's not getting mined on Mandalore anymore.
Yeah. What happened to? But was Mandalore the only place that you could mine Beskar?
Yeah.
Oh, well then there you go.
That's hence its scarcity.
It's Mandalorian steel.
Okay. So then I guess the fact that you only have, maybe that's why the armor is so important. Because it's not just the ingots of Beskar, it's the way that it's produced. Like there's I forget the type of sword.
It created the arc pulse generator.
Okay.
And that's definitely a super weapon.
But we know how badass the armor. I mean,
yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, when they do bring Beskar Mandalorian into the games, the next one's going to be a tank. Ain't going to be an attacker. It's going to be a tank.
Oh yeah. Hold on. The games? What games do you speak of, Nev?
I'm not speaking about any games.
Oh, Nev. 2-minute timeout.
Oh, screw you, God.
Now, this is a reminder for those of you who are new to the Talking Mando. We have one rule on this show. This show is about the Mandalorian. And there is a game that the three of us definitely play, and probably many of you who are watching this, play, that shall not be named during the live stream.
So because of this, Neil gets 2 minutes in the timeout box. Neil, any final words before we are muting you for 2 minutes?
Just mute me. I'm just going to do my dailies.
All right. As he mentioned the game again.
I mean,
all right, we have muted Nev for 2 minutes. Nev. He can't say it. No, we cannot hear him.
Nope. Nope. Now let's talk about the most important aspects of this episode and just.
Yes, let's talk about those.
Let's talk about those.
Neil is muted.
No, so I gotta say though, it's gonna be interesting to find out what the Empire did to to Mandalore, right? Now we know that at the end of season 7 of the Clone Wars, Mandalore's a desolate place. It's got like cities and domes and stuff like that, but it's still thriving. You know, it's occupied. But something had to have happened.
Well, Din didn't know that. Din thought Mandalore was desolate.
Yeah, but we think. But that's the thing is, it could have been. It still could be desolate, because we don't know what happened to Mandalore, right? We know the purge took place. But what was the purge? Right? Did the Empire destroy the planet and then salt the earth? You know, so to speak.
That's what I'm thinking that happened.
Yeah.
So they're having to bring all sorts of things in via, import.
Yeah, exactly. And so that brings up the question then, is Mandalore the curse? Because they actually says this later on in the episode. Mandalore's cursed, right? So, but we'll get to that. All right. So,
well, Din says Mandalore's cursed, and bo-katan says Dank Farrik.
Dank Farrik. That's that's the swear word. That's the Mandalorian. But we did get a little bit
ahead of ourselves.
We're getting ahead.
Was that they threw Baby Yoda? All right.
Oh my gosh.
Your time's up. Unmute there, Neil.
So as we're watching it on the live stream, I was not expecting Baby Yoda to be kicked into the thing, and I don't think Paul was either, because he's like, "Holy!" and he stopped himself from dropping the F-bomb. But like it was, I think, a close one, because like my gosh, I wasn't expecting that at all. That threw me off. Had Baby Yoda died, I would have been very happy. It would have been a hard time for me. Nev, you're still on mute.
Yeah, you got to unmute, Neil. You have to hit the unmute button. I can't do it for you.
Still muted.
I've hit the ask to unmute.
There he is.
Don't mute me again.
Okay.
So, but yeah, no, I just think, you know, as Han Solo, Peter Griffin said to the cast during Blue Harvest, there's enough of the main crew here that we're all safe.
Yeah, that's valid.
They're all safe.
They're all safe. So I gotta. It was. He jumps in. I will say that I don't know why I thought this, but I just assumed the helmet was breathable underwater, and it clearly isn't. Because he jumped up and he looked like he was trying to breathe, and right. So clearly the Mandalorian cannot breathe with his helmet underwater. That will take a special, different type of Mandalorian helmet that we haven't seen yet. Or maybe just like a neck piece to like, I don't know. That may never come up. But as he's struggling for air, enter bo-katan, not Sabine Wren.
I thought it was Sabine because of the owl eyes.
No, I'm like, not just that. Like, we all thought that Sasha Banks was playing Sabine
Sasha
Wren.
Banks. Some thought that it was. Some thought that it was. She was Sabine. Some thought that she was Dr. Aphra.
I thought she could have been Dr. Aphra. But yeah, no, she plays Koska Reeves. Now I gotta say, bo-katan was listed on IMDb for, I don't know, like for weeks now. We've known or speculated that whoever put her up there was like, this is who she is, right? But Sasha Banks wasn't listed at all. Like, she was listed as an actress, but no name associated with her. And I'm very curious to know why. Is it a red herring? I mean, are we being misled?
You know, it keeps also on it when we're talking about IMDb here. It's saying that Pedro Pascal is in 18 episodes, and that let's see who else. I'm looking for Ahsoka Tano on the list. I think they finally took it down.
Oh, did they?
We're just gonna Control F.
It's the best way to do it, man.
Who's playing her?
Oh, it's
Oh my god, I'm blanking.
Spartacus's wife.
Claire from what's it called?
Somebody help us in chat.
Oh my gosh, why can't I think?
No, Rosario Dawson.
Yes. Oh my gosh, why couldn't that? It was it just kept
they aren't
spiraling.
even listing her on the full cast list yet.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But when we did the original first episode, apparently we thought it. You know, apparently it was saying that she was going to be in every single episode of.
Yeah. Well, they did have her listed.
We know that she's going to be in from 4 onwards.
Yeah.
We don't know about 4. We speculate 5 because that's the one that Filoni is doing.
Yeah.
She's gonna be in the next one. Come on, think about it. She's gonna be in the next one.
I don't know. So, but that's the other thing too. Tamora Morrison, still doesn't have the Boba Fett credit to his name. It's still blank. He's listed, but since he doesn't have a name officially, they haven't given him anything. Now, side note with that, rumor has it that he is getting his own Boba Fett spin-off mini-series that should either be in production or pre-production currently, and may at earliest start filming like this last week. Like, it's very possible. Like, that's the rumor that I've heard, and it's being carried by trade magazines, and so I don't know how true it is, but I would love a Boba Fett miniseries that explored his life his life on Tatooine, right? Like, I just assume. Go ahead.
I don't know how Inverse.com is getting all these top of the list Google searches, because there was one article I read from Inverse that was like, I don't know who this person was at the very end of that. I just know that this man was wearing Boba Fett's armor. I'm like, how do you get the top spot in Google searches and not know who the actor was?
Yeah. That's kind of shameful. And when I say kind of, I mean, like, that's really shameful. You know, be a bigger fan.
Maybe their brother's sister's cousin's wife is, friends with them.
Possibly. So here's the thing. Boba and Baby Yoda are saved, right? Pretty epic battle, right? You've got bo-katan and her crew going through and just kicking absolute butt against the Korans. And what's the first thing that happens after the fight? She takes off the helmet. Oh my gosh. And this is a pretty big right? They remove their helmet. Din is like, no. Who are you? Yeah. And what? Am I?
No. That's what he's thinking.
Oh yeah, he was like, no. He's like,
He's like, no.
And he's getting his gun ready. Like, Bo-Katan's like, look, this armor has been in my family for generations.
Yeah.
This is who I am.
They were like, oh, you're one of those.
Yeah. And the one of those that they speak of is, what do they call it? The Watch? The Child of the Watch?
Child of the Watch, yep. With Death Watch, we called it.
Yeah. And so we called it, this is Death Watch. I am curious because all of this going around isn't. No, this is after episode 5, right? Or 6. Right? Correct?
Yes, this is after 6.
So I was going to say, I was curious if they were part of Maul. If like the Child of the Watch were those being raised by Maul or Maul's crew. I mean, because we saw the armor with the horns, we know that those people who had Mandalorian armor with horns were connected to Death Watch, were part of Maul, wanted a Mandalore back in charge, wanted like Mandalore the Ultimate back in charge, right? And how cool was it that like back in the day the Mandalore was like this battle-hardened bad-A who just was awesome, right? And that's why that faction of Death Watch, or that faction of the Mandalorians, saw Maul as their leader because he took power, right? And so Din was raised by Death Watch. We know that for almost a fact now. If not factual, it's highly implied. And so they're like, oh, you're one of them. Now, clearly, there is a animosity, like a distinction between the two groups, right? Bo-Katan didn't seem to be super happy to find out that he was a Child of the Watch, right?
Yeah.
Is this big, Nev? This Mandalore?
Well, it's an explanation, is what it is.
No,
it's an explanation.
Okay, you're familiar with
everybody's like, why? Why? Where's this no taking off helmets? And we've never had a retrospective, clear understanding of why. And it's because those everybody that's a foundling, the foundlings, that whole foundling line thing, comes from Watch.
Yeah.
And they're obviously raised and trained in secret on Mandalore. Because obviously it was during the Empire's occupation of Mandalore, so obviously they would have had to have been trained in secret. It's a bit like in Braveheart. The English wouldn't let the Scottish train with weapons, so they trained with stones. Well, the foundlings of the Watch would have been trained, kind of in secret. And thus, because they were trained in secret, their identities probably would have been secret, which is more than likely why they were raised to, their credo was to wear their helmets at all times to maintain their secrecy and, as the armorer said, to hide their numbers.
Yeah, that makes sense. I am curious to know. I don't know that we know that they were raised on Mandalore, but I think that whether they were raised on Mandalore or not, they're raised by Mandalorians. They've been adopted into the culture.
He said at the end. He said at the end that he was on Mandalore.
Oh, did he?
That was how Gideon knew his name, because he was on Mandalore.
All right, then I missed that. I've when I go back and watch the final season, I'm watching for clips.
Got memory usually like a sieve, mate.
I do. I absolutely do. I'm totally gonna have Alzheimer's, like, in a week, if not sooner. So Mando flies off. Din flies off. They stay behind. They blow up the ship, and then, eventually come and save him again from the Corran's brothers. Right?
You killed my brother.
You killed my brother. Right? That was a very rednecky.
My brother.
Yeah. A very rednecky, you killed my brother. And I'm going to kill you. Not even kill you. I'm going to kill your pet. Which is like harsh.
A gut shot to everybody that loves the show.
Yeah. Like I sit back and I'm like, look, if my brother was murdered, I would want to go after the person who murdered my brother. I wouldn't want to kill his dog,
A thousand Twitter SJWs cried out in not anguish but in joy.
Yes, probably
as the baby killer, baby Yoda
got what he deserved. I don't. Yeah.
Because baby Yoda's a baby killer.
Of course, because he's eating eggs in embryo.
Yeah. There was a
even though they're not fertilized
people.
eggs. So 1,000 SJW vegans.
Oh yeah,
shit!
It's only the vegans.
Huh?
Only the vegans. The rest of them.
Yeah, only the vegans though. Only the vegans.
Yeah. So, all right. So they save him again, and they're like, "Look, can we just buy you a drink? Let's just talk, right?" And so, bo-katan brings them. They buy him a drink. They talk about what's going on, presumably back at the same bar that they went to the first time, right? I mean,
so why didn't Jaren find the Moncall and just like
I mean, why did he just hey buddy, the guy that you hooked me up with, he tried to murder me, which I don't care about. That happens all the time. But he tried to murder my little child.
I want my lifesavers back.
I want my life exactly. You know how delicious those pineapple gummy lifesavers are? Amazing. So they go on. They do their thing, right? They're talking and they explain, hey, look, this is what's going on with Mandalore, and we want to take it back. If I'm going to be the leader, and she's still got it in her head that she's going to be the leader of Mandalore, the one to rule them all, right? She's got to take it back, right? She's got to take back the planet. But to do that, they've got to get equipment. They've got to get weaponry. They've got to get additional ammunition and arms, right? Which, again, leads to the idea that, like, Mandalore really is a desolate place. And so I'm very curious to go back to Mandalore to see Mandalore and what happens there. I have this feeling, though, that we won't. That the Mandalorian people will eventually move to a new planet and resettle.
Well, there's these whole people that were talking about how Pedro Pascal is upset that he can't take off his helmet, so he has more screen time. So they made like 4 episodes, and then 6 episodes are going to be not about Mandalorian or Baby Yoda. So
yeah, maybe those are heavy flashbacks. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Maybe that we'll see a lot of flashbacks. Maybe we'll see episodes where these other Mandalorians are doing their thing, right? I don't know. I mean, this was episode 3, and so like we've got one more officially with quite possibly a Din Djarin heavily featured episode, but then you have 4 others that may not be heavy features. Which
if they do it like they did final season of Clone Wars, 4 episodes in there that no one gives a shit about, people are going to be pissed.
No,
and
I agree.
numbers will their viewing numbers will drop off. If it looks like they're doing something like that, people will stop talking about it. The hype, the buzz will just disappear.
Yeah,
because nobody
gave vanish without a
craps about those 4 episodes.
Yeah,
you're saying the viewership will vanish without a trace?
Yeah, without a trace, or her sister's trace, whoever the bloody hell she was. I can't even remember her name.
Martell. Trace Martell.
See, you remember useless stuff that nobody cares to remember, but you can't remember important stuff.
You're right, and it's part of my charm, Neil. Anyways, so they buy him a drink. They're like, "Hey, look,
really, Neil?
Yeah, this is what we need to do. We're gonna go take this ship. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna, they've got maybe a squad of stormtroopers. It's nothing. I feel like they had more than a squad. Just saying. Feel like there was definitely quite a few more than what I would imagine a squad being. I don't know, but
less. There had, from what we saw, less than 25.
What would a squad be? Would a squad be 25? Yeah, I feel like now we need to go back and count them all.
Neil, help us here.
Yeah,
how many? What's
you're
bigger,
a military
a platoon
man.
or a battalion?
It would be a squad. Let's see. Squad is 3 corporals, platoon sergeant. No, that's a platoon. So a squad would be 8 and a non-commissioned officer.
See, I'm totally right. Because there were like
8 and a non-commissioned officer.
Yeah.
You don't need a commissioned officer for a squad. You just need a non-commissioned officer, whether it's a corporal or a sergeant.
2 teams make in the US, 2 teams make up a squad, which has 4 to 10 soldiers, so 20.
Yeah.
It depends.
So
you need 8. You need at least 8 so that you can do. It needs to be an even number so that you can do pairs fire and maneuver, or you can do squad fire and maneuver, which is 4 up. So you've got 4 laying down fire while 4 move forward, and they what's called pepper potting, and that's how a squad moves. That's how a squad advances on an enemy position.
So what else 73 says a squad is 8 to 12. That was about a platoon, which was about 30.
All right, thank you. What else?
Yeah,
I mean, the amount of people that were on that ship, it was easily a platoon.
Yeah, there were quite a few, and they just couldn't hit the broadside of a bantha. They got,
as Axe Wolves, who was also in the big baddie in Quantum of Solace, said.
Yeah. the awesome, by the way. So they're going. I gotta say, here's what's interesting to me. Okay, and this is gonna sound really stupid. Season 1, you saw Baby Yoda eating frogs with reckless abandon. Just anytime there was a frog, he was eating it. Anytime there was anything, he was eating. Like, I'm pretty sure that Baby Yoda is eating something in every episode. A frog or whatever. The first 2 seasons of this, he's eating, or the first 2 episodes of this season, he's eating with reckless abandon. But one of the interesting things about this episode was when he's dropped off with the frog people. Now, I would have loved to have seen some moments of Baby Yoda eating frog eggs, like trying to hide it with the parents around. I would have been hilarious. But one of the things that we see is Baby Yoda actually watching a tadpole break out of the egg, and one of you see him actually seeing life come into existence. Up until that moment, he is seeing this as food. Then he sees it hatch, and then later on in the episode when Mando picks him up, he's playing with the frog, with the tadpole, which makes me think, and I don't think he was like playing with it trying to eat it. I think he was like actually playing with it as, oh, it's a baby, and I think it's cute now. And the whole reason I say that is because I think that he's starting to get a connection to the Force, more so than he's had before. We've seen him do the hand thing. We've seen him stop fire. We've seen him Force choke a bee. And I say that only very carefully, knowing that Cara Dune and her real life counterpart could absolutely destroy me in a person. But like, we've seen him use that power randomly. I have a feeling that this is going to be a moment in his life that's going to play a role for the positive. All because of the way he saw a tadpole born. I may be reading way too much into that, and I probably am. But I saw that, and I was like, that's an interesting moment, because he saw it born, and all of a sudden his demeanor about the eggs kind of changed. Again, I'm reading way too much into that, but
you're assuming an awful lot there.
I am.
Yeah, you're assuming an awful lot there.
So, anyways, they get back on the ship and they start destroying these stormtroopers, just left and right, just taking them out, throwing them overboard. The choreography was pretty good. There were a few moments I feel like that the stormtroopers weren't giving it their all, but I don't know. They get on board and they make their way through the ship. They eventually are locked in the cargo hold, the cargo control room.
Cargo control room.
Which is, if you're on a ship, don't you know how that ship works? I feel like that friggin' whatever he was, that Imperial, was just the dumbest person. This is why the Empire failed. It's military minds, it's leadership like this that is why the Empire failed. Hands down.
No. You're getting it wrong. He's exactly where he should be. Think about it. All right? If you're the best and the brightest, you're doing the awesome stuff for the Empire. If you're thick as pig crap, you're doing fetch and carry. He is not very smart. Clearly not a particularly good Imperial officer. He is assigned
deck officer.
He's assigned to a ship to do fetch and carry and very little else. He is exactly where he deserves to be. because of his skill set.
So
he's not good. He's not good at what he does. And that is exactly why he is where he is. And that's exactly why those stormtroopers are where they are. They're not expected to meet any type of resistance or issues or problems whatsoever. So they're at the back end of the universe doing fetch and carry.
And I
That's
guess
why.
That makes sense. And that's why they say stormtroopers can't hit the broadside of a bantha, because these are ones that don't see the action. Right? And I was too harsh.
What else 73 says that he may have been the security platoon leader? No, he's listed as deck officer. He's played by a writer for Conan O'Brien.
I gotta say, like, I think that's kind of cool that they are able to do that. That they did that, because if I were anywhere within the filming universe, that is exactly what I would try to do. Try to connect myself with Star Wars so I could play bit characters. I don't want a big role, you know. Just let me be the voice of an Ewok, right? Or a droid.
I just want to go, oh no, as I get shot.
No.
Oh no.
They
killed Zeus.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. Dude, I think they took your couch. What, the one in the dumpster? Yeah. It had that pizza
I'm
stick.
sorry, but you know when at the end of the last episode, and obviously you see it at the beginning of this episode, you see the back flapping and they're flying through space with the drawer.
Yeah.
That instantly made me think of the Family Guy. It's like I think that the writers are like, wouldn't it be funny if we made the cargo hold door like open like the Millennium Falcon did in the in their mock version of the Star Wars episode, and there's someone in the writers' room went, yes, that is so cool. Yeah, we have to do that.
And our fans would love it.
That's what I think. That's what I think they were doing.
I think so too. I think that these episodes.
I think somebody needs to tweet Seth MacFarlane and say, Seth, they ripped off your Star Wars Blue Harvest episode.
I think that they're paying a lot of homage to fans, which I'm grateful for. Like, and they're doing it, in my mind, they're doing it in a way that is just enough. It's not so much fan service that it's like, oh, this is just ridiculous. But at the same time, it doesn't pull you away from the episode. I don't know. Okay. Cool moment, right? They get sucked out of the cargo hold, and then Bo-Katan's got the little mic, and she's like, I'm coming for you, suckers. And like, Mando's like, look, you've changed the deal. You're changing the terms of the arrangement.
I was just waiting for it to say, pray I don't alter it any further. I was like, don't say
we
it.
did in the reaction watch party, but you don't listen to us.
Yeah. In the reaction watch party, both Paul and I at the same time said that. Pray I don't alter it any further. Like, it was, again, that's another one of those moments of fan service. It's like, look, it's not, had he said, she said that, it would have been over the top. But her response is, well, this is the way, which I thought was cool. I was like, oh, come on. I see what you did there. You said this is the way, and that's what he says, not necessarily what all Mandalorians say, right? So they go through, they get stopped right before the cabin, and as Titus Welver, who is he? He's the captain of the ship.
He was, hang on, Imperial captain.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he offs both of the pilots. Like, this is insane. Moff Gideon's like, look, you've lost the ship. There's nothing I can do. You know what you have to do. And their response is, long live the Empire. Now, at this point, the Empire is destroyed. The Empire is essentially just a remnant fighting. This is interesting. This is a really fascinating part, because, like, he goes through and is just like, boom, boom, kills them both. and is prepared to take the rest of the ship down with him, right? Mando, the Mando crew can't get their stuff together, right? So Mando double detonates, right, and just bum rushes the rest of the troopers. I almost said the rest of the clones, and then blows them up, right? They break in. They save the ship just in time. Okay. Bo-Katan grabs the Imperial and has the conversation. Where is it? Does he have it? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Does she? I think she does say Darksaber, right?
She does say it later, but yeah, we know exactly what she's talking about.
Yeah. And so she's referring to the Darksaber, and what she wants is she wants the Darksaber back so that she can be the crown Mandalore, right? Which is what I think they're going to be focusing on. I think that's what they're going to be moving towards, having a Mandalore, right? A leader of the Mandalorian people, not just with the Senate, not just like a flat out leader. And very possibly could be a rebirth of the old way of the Mandalore, right? This death and destruction and willing the warrior spirit, I think is what we're going to see a resurgence for, right? The old ways of the Mandalore, the ones we saw in KOTOR 2, those types of things. But his, like, I was not expecting him to suicide himself, like, but he bit into something in his mouth and it shocked the ever-living crap out of him and he dies. They save the ship and they give Din Djarin the name of the location of their next of where to find Ahsoka Tano. Yes. Corvus. And I'm curious if we Nothing?
They're creating a new planet in the Star Wars universe.
They are creating a new planet.
Which boggles the mind because there's enough planets in the Star Wars universe for them to just pick one. Yeah. I would have preferred to have seen a return to Dagobah. I would have loved that.
That would have been cool.
That would have been amazing.
That would have been amazing.
So cool.
So
the Jedi's called Ahsoka Tano, and she's on a planet in the Dagobah system. And
yeah.
That would have been like, you know, my jaw would have dropped, and I would have had to have physically lifted it up because that would have made more sense to me. Especially regarding her connection with Yoda.
Yeah, and so here's the thing. I'm actually listening to The Empire Strikes Back from a certain point of view, and I'm trying to pick up.
How are you doing that?
Yes, how am I doing that? I'm doing that because I'm listening through Audible, which if you look in the section below,
I would love to sign up for Audible. Is there any deal going on?
Yes. You can sign up for Audible in a link in the section below. At least I think it's the section below. 2 free audiobooks, 1 month, plus a bunch of other like audiobooks that they give you. It's really a great deal. Like, it absolutely is. But I'm listening to and it helps the channel if you sign up for free. All right. Anyways, like, it's interesting because, like, I just listened to the scene where Yoda's on Dagobah and he takes Luke into the cave, right? And essentially, the cave, it's from the point of view of the cave, right? Like,
what?
Yeah, it's weird.
And you're not going to spoil something for me if I happen to be getting this for Christmas, right?
No. It's really unique because it's like it talks about the balance, how Yoda. This isn't the first time Yoda's gone to the cave, which, you know, anyone who knows Yoda or knows of Yoda could assume that since he knew of the cave, he had been there before, right? And so it talks about how Yoda had been there and how, you know, essentially it's like the light and balance. Yoda goes there to see the fear that he's afraid of, but while at the same time find a way to overcome it. I don't know. It's really interesting. But it would have been cool to have other Jedi show up on the cave or on Dagobah and go through the same experience. Additionally, I mean, how cool would it have been to have Yoda show up as a Force ghost?
Okay, so Corvus, before this, was the ship used by Iden Verso in Battlefield 2.
Okay.
So if somebody happened to, maybe the Corvus itself landed there, and so they named the planet after it. I don't know.
Yeah. And it's also an Immobilizer 418 cruiser, or the birth name Corvus Langlier of Lorne Moonrunner, whoever that is.
Okay, so Andatish Ordo actually thinks it's the other way around, that the Corvette from Battlefront 2 was named. I just looked over and saw your mention, Ordo. Welcome to the chat. But by the way, he also says the first time Bo-Katan says this is the way. She says it sarcastically, but the second time it was more out of respect.
Yeah, true. And like Bo-Katan is an honorable person, right? I mean,
we believe.
We don't. I don't know. There's a lot to that.
We trusted in the Frog Lady's, or the Frogman's.
That's true.
Recommendation of the guy who sent them to sent
Yeah.
Baby Yoda to get eaten.
To get eaten by a giant water-dwelling
Crate dragon?
Sarlacc. Crate dragon, yeah. What if Baby Yoda got eaten by something in every episode and Mando had to go back and get him? I think that would be fun. Of course, that would, it'd get old really quickly. But so he goes on his way to Corvus, right? He is going to find potentially Ahsoka Tano. Now, we don't know if he's going to make a stop. We don't know if he's going to what? I mean, will he? We know that Dave Filoni is the one who. What did he do? He directed episode 5. This is going to be episode 4. This coming up, so maybe we won't see Ahsoka Tano next time. It's possible, but I don't know. Right? I mean, what if they put
we may see her right at the end. We may see
I could see that.
You're right at the end, like we saw Jedi Master Luke in Force Awakens.
Yeah, I could see that.
That's been done the crap out of.
It has. But would it surprise you? I mean, like
it would from a show made by Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. Yeah.
But here's the thing, like
they did it in the first episode. We saw Baby Yoda, and then we saw him trying to do ET to Baby Yoda, and then it cut. I mean, we saw them do.
Yeah, but we didn't know that Baby Yoda was going to be a main character. We knew that Luke is Star Wars, for God's sakes. Ahsoka Tano is like Star Wars royalty as far as characters are concerned.
And that's true. That's true. But what else does point out that they do like skipping episodes? And we did see that a couple of times in the previous season, where the episode that led up to him working with, the hissing lady, Tonks, there was a space between those two episodes. It wasn't a direct connection, one right after the other. These first 3 episodes are one right after the other. It could be taking a break. My only thought is, the Mandalorian ship is crap. The Razor Crest is gonna be tough to fly. My wonder is he gonna go back somewhere where he can, I don't know, like fix his ship and then go? And if that's the case, I don't know, maybe Navarro, maybe maybe back to Tatooine and see if he can get some help, right? Just a thought. I don't know. What do you guys think? Are we going to see
I think he's going
Tano?
straight there. I think he's going straight there.
Paul?
I think he's going to Navarro first. I think he's going to pick up. You know, are we at the point where we're speculating now?
Let's speculate because we've reached the end of the episode. So I mean, let's speculate some wildly here, right? Because
I think he goes back to Navarro to pick up the dead bodies of Queel and IG-11. Oops, spoiler for first season. No, he's going to pick up Kara and are you? Oh, I thought Neil. I thought you were going. No, spoiler alert. I'm like, you watched it with me. I think that he's going back to get Kara and Carl Weathers.
That's kind of my thought too. I think he's going to tell them the quest that he's on. He's like, this is where I'm doing. This is what I think I'm gonna.
Because does he know where Corvus is?
He might not. He does say at the end, he's like, I'm going to take you to Corvus to find one of your own. But like we don't know. Ordo does point out, he's like, if we see Sabine and Ahsoka together, I'm like, Sabine's a mechanic. I mean, she could totally fix his ship up. And given the right parts, probably so can Mando, but I don't know. I mean, I do want to look back, though, because there's, as we were talking about this trailer, what else brings up a good point? We mentioned at somewhere halfway through the episode that as we were watching it, everything from the episode or from the trailer has been seen so far. And that's not accurate. I think I was wrong when I said that because we don't see Carl Weathers and we don't see Cara Dune. And the blue-faced guy played by Horatio Sands, we haven't seen yet either. And for some reason, he might be important.
I don't think we saw that. So I'm going back for the trailers right now. I'll be back. I'm going to mute so you don't get dinged.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So I think somewhere along the way, he's going to stop at Navarro. Now, it could be here before he goes to Corvus, or it could be after. I don't know. It's just real. I think it just really, in my mind, it makes sense only to.
We haven't seen the stormtrooper heads on pikes yet.
That was in the first season, though.
Wasn't it? First season, Paul. That was first season trailer.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking at the wrong one then.
Yeah, and again, all of the while and again, a great comment in the chat. He's still got the Mandalorian. He's got Fett's armor, right? Maybe if he goes back to Tatooine, maybe he runs into Boba. You know, and I don't know.
I don't think that's the issue. I think Boba is probably secretly tracking him.
Oh yeah,
we're talking Boba Fett here. He's going to be tracking him.
True. I mean, we could see him secretly tracking him. I wonder, though, if Boba's given up the life. If Boba found the Force in the Sarlacc pit. Did he have a come to the father moment? And by that, I mean the father, the son, and the daughter.
Holy cow. So we saw the Razor Crest beat the heck up going to Trask.
Yeah. That was one of the first things we saw in this second season trailer. And
right, and then the second thing we see is him walking in the night into literally the first part of the
first episode.
Episode 1. Now we see Tuskens.
Yep.
Now we see the ice planet,
which wasn't Ilum, which a lot of us thought it could have been.
Now we see the boats. Now we see Sasha Banks.
I will say the one thing that's been interesting so far is like they've kept a lot of it secret. And I think that's really good. Like
boat.
I think it's really cool.
Pull over.
It's still a lot to
Okay, here we go.
You see it?
There's some new stuff. Grief and Kara.
Mm-hmm.
and then the TIE fighters taking off. So yeah, we're returning to Navarro. That's the last place Moff Gideon was.
That's true, and we could see a connection. I mean, like we know that Mando has faced off against Moff Gideon. That wasn't discussed here in this episode. That common enemy is Moff Gideon, right? And I think as soon as bo-katan learns that Moff Gideon and Din Djarin are on the outs, I think they're gonna team up more. I don't know, continually. That's not right, but yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so there's three things: the appearance of Kara and Carl Weathers, the TIE fighters taking off, and then speeder bike chases.
Yeah, and so I think all of that is going to be in the same episode, and so all of that will happen before episode 5. Now, could it be that Ahsoka Tano shows up on Navarro? I don't know. I am now starting to lean towards the end of the episode. I think there's a stop.
Yeah, here.
I think Paul almost knocked over his free-to-play tears.
It is 100% Navarro that they're on, or I don't know my geography, which I think I do, but it's very colorful. It looks like the entrance to Navarro. I'm going to send you a picture here, you guys. You could tell me if I'm right or wrong. But here comes a still picture from the trailer for you guys to tell me if I'm right or wrong on, is this...
Put it up on the screen
Navarro.
In the back. I'm afraid I'm gonna...
You want me to put it where?
The screen in the back.
Oh, put it on the screen in the back?
Yeah. Can you?
Yeah, yes, that's Navarro.
Yeah.
That is Navarro, yeah. Oh, she's looking fine. Gina. Oh, you're looking good, girl.
So apparently there's I know this is gonna kind of tick you off, Neil, but apparently there's a little bit of cancel culture for things that Gina Carrero has said.
Oh God, yeah, no, I know all about that. She doesn't give a shit about it, so I don't give a shit about it.
So there we go.
Yeah. So.
See, here's the thing. She's actually climbed into a ring with someone and had a fight. So I don't think mean words from complete and utter nobodies on the internet is going to bother her. In fact, I can see her kicking back in her chair, reading this stuff, just laughing her head off. It's like, I got into a cage match with someone. Oh, your words. Oh no, I'm so hurt by your words.
Yeah.
I've been beaten up. Your words mean nothing.
Yeah, I think that she's got a thick enough skin that she's
there you go. That's as best as I can make it.
No, I do think that that's where we're going to go. Now, we're making that assumption, but we might not. I mean, we might not be going there. I mean, we could be going to Corvus. So far, we've seen a direct continuation, one episode to the next, and if that's the case, maybe we go straight to Corvus. I don't know. It's very possible that we go there. My only thought is, can the Razor Crest make it to Corvus, or is there something that he needs that might end up being closer? I don't know. It could be any number of things.
That would make sense. By the way, I'm going to move away from it now.
Yeah,
I'm going to go back to this. That could make sense that he has to limp to Navarro because it's on the way to Corvus.
Yeah.
Because
that's
the
my
Moncall put salt water in the oil or something.
Well, it looked like his ship was held together with fishing nets. So, I mean, he's going to need to make repairs eventually, right?
He's going to need a bigger boat.
He is. I don't know, though. I mean, these our favorite characters are connected with ships. Han is always tinkering on the Millennium Falcon. Boba had Slave One. Jango had Slave One, right? That passed down from father to son. Bosk has the Houndstooth. The Razor Crest probably means a lot to him, and I don't think that he's just gonna switch.
No, he's not.
And if you know the speculation or rumors were true, and Din Djarin was at the Battle of Exegol, because a ship like the Razor Crest was shown at the Battle of Exegol, then it's been fixed, you know? So I don't know. I'm not sure. But eventually he's going to have to like do some work on that thing. He's got a hoopty that's just really struggling, right? Anyways. All right. So let's give our ratings. Nev, actually, no, not Nev. You have the final word here.
Okay.
Go ahead.
5.
Eloquent.
5. It's just awesome. Awesomeness all around.
So the boat thing was completely overlooked.
Yep, don't care about it.
All right.
There was awesomeness overflowing with that episode. I love that. Best episode of The Mandalorian ever.
I will say right now, if you look at The Mandalorian, rating wise, and this is just on IMDb, I do want to look at some more. This is tied for second place. And the first tie is The Sin and The Reckoning. So the when Carl Weathers, becomes a good guy finally, and Din reclaims the child, after giving him up. So,
all right. Do you have the blue screen magic ready? Because here I'm gonna have the Razor Crest taking off here. Here we go. Here we go. There's the Razor Crest taking off, played by Dr. Evazan.
Evazan, yeah.
Oh, and now it falls over.
All right, Paul. What are your thoughts? How would you rate this?
I'm not gonna let the use of practical effects that seem bad deter me from giving this episode an absolute 5.
All right.
Just like Neil can overlook boats on a planet that has achieved space travel, I can overlook a ship on a string every once in a while.
What?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not. Here's the thing: it's not so much overlooking it. It's more a case of I've come to the I've made peace with the fact that even in a spacefaring era, it's probably easier to catch fish on a flotation device than hovering above the water in a spaceship, because repulsor lifts aren't really designed with water in mind,
and it scares away the fish.
Yeah,
and it scares away the fish.
Yeah, right. And you then can't use that like trap to, throw little babies into.
Mm-hmm.
Right, or 50-year-old babies, not little babies.
I mean, what did they call that? That alien manticore or something?
Mama core or something. It was Mama something. I can't remember. It was weird.
Mama,
yeah, Mama Teak it was weird, right? And it was essentially a Sarlacc in water, right?
Water Sarlacc. Yeah.
Water Sarlacc.
And just as summarily you can overlook that, I can overlook a $1 billion franchise putting things on strings.
Yeah.
Hey, that's how
I've already told you they keep cheaping out on stuff like that. They did it with the last episode instead of just, instead of forking out for the CGI to fly him from his location back to the spaceport, they said, well, we've got this studio with green screen, so let's just have him walk across the camera a couple times, because that's cheaper than the CGI to fly him back to Mos Eisley. So yeah.
I see, and I'm gonna disagree. I think it was all about looking awesome, and he looked awesome.
For someone that looks awesome and is awesome, he gets his ass saved an awful lot.
Valid point. But don't we all need help sometimes, Nev? Don't we all need?
He seems to need it. He seems to need it more than your average person.
That's true. That's true. But I feel like as a Mandalorian, he might also.
It is a Mama Core.
Mama Core.
What else?
It was I knew it was Mama something, but I was like, that threw me off. All right, I'm gonna give it a 5.
We're all giving it a 5.
Mm-hmm.
But I just because I don't want to ruin its rating. How do I say this without making Neil rage?
With trepidation and caution.
Yes, that's why I'm walking on eggshells here. I think this episode wasn't perfect for me, but it was so close to perfect that I have a hard time taking away points. The only thing in my mind that is wrong with this episode were my own expectations. With 35 minutes, they cut out on what we saw for the first 2 episodes. Episode 1 was like 45 minutes, 55 minutes. Episode 2 was still something close to that. And my thought was there's definitely a lot they could have done in that 10, 15 minute time period to help build the lore, the story, to help connect Mando, right? Because how cool would it have been had he made it to wherever he's going next? And then that's when next week's episode starts. I don't know. Like, that's kind of... But those were my expectations, And so I don't want to take away from the episode. There could have been more. But, again, just like the last episode, it'll really just depend on what happens with the next episode that may change my mind about that. So, that is my thought. Those are... we're giving it a 5 across the board.
I messaged Geek Girl. She has not responded to what she rated it.
Okay. But it was a good episode. Like, it was solid. I absolutely loved it. And I think we all did. I think as we watched this, I think that there was so much that was just enjoyable.
Mandalorian's kicking ass.
Yeah.
Names getting dropped.
Oh, yeah.
Katie Sackhoff with a weird shaped face, but still looking hot. Still looking hot.
See, I didn't even see her as a weird shaped face. I saw Katie Sackhoff as bo-katan.
See, Kate, you're missing out. What you need to do is you need to go watch 24, season 4. Katie Sackhoff is in it. She has got long blonde hair. She is slim. She is.
Who is she in 24?
Oh, yeah, she's in 24.
I've seen every episode of 24.
She did a season of 24. She was a CTA agent. Sorry,
was
CTA,
she?
CTU agent. How did you miss that?
Dude, it's been years since I've seen. Wasn't.
I'm sure it was. It's either season 3 or season 4. It was one of the earlier seasons. She was a CTU agent in the show, and yeah, my God, she was smoking in that. Gorgeous, straight blonde hair, just down below her shoulders. Oh, she was beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
I'll have to look into that.
You're gonna have to look into that
because I loved 24 when it was out. Like that was my jam. I have every season of 24. Like when people look at the David Palmer you know, I forget his actual name, but that insurance guy. And they're like, oh, it's the insurance guy. I'm like, no, that's President David Palmer. He is the president of the United States. Probably the best president we've ever had. Even if it were fictitious. Anyways.
No, the best president we ever had, fictitious president we ever had, was Martin Sheen.
By the way, Dennis Hassert, by the way.
Dennis, there you go.
Dennis her.
What else asks? When is Katie Sackhoff not smoking hot?
Her face. Look, what else? Wouldn't you agree? There was something. They did something to her face. Either she's had some work done, or it was makeup or CGI on her face, because there was just something ever so slightly off about her face, and I couldn't put my finger on it.
By the way, so one thing I did want to mention, the two characters who played the pilots of the Gazanti.
Yeah.
One of them, or both of them, starred in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Didn't star, they were in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But where do we also know Katie Sackhoff from?
She is bo-katan.
Right. Well, we did mention that she was actually the voice of bo-katan. What else says President Thomas Whitmore, played by Bill Pullman?
Get out of here. I'm sorry.
No. It's because you're British, Nev. It's because you're British and you don't appreciate the American freedom that we all appreciate. And that's a lie. I know that you do.
He was the worst fictional president.
The worst? He got into a cockpit of a plane and he fought aliens.
So did Randy Quaid. If Randy Quaid can get into the cockpit of one of those jets, then yeah, anybody can.
Whoa. Don't you be dissing on Randy Quaid.
I'm not dissing on Randy Quaid. Randy Quaid was awesome. Hello, boys, I'm back.
Yeah.
It's the best line from the entire movie, ever. You know, that is one of the best movie quotes of all time. Don't give me that, Bill Pullman.
Now I just wanted to point out
Martin Sheen from the West Wing.
I'm going to point out that we had the trilogy of Star shows all in one, because the captain played a character on Voyager, Star Trek Voyager. They were in a Star Wars movie, and the guy on the right-hand side was in Stargate. So we had the Star trilogy in that one scene.
There you go.
I would love to see Seth MacFarlane cameo in the Mandalorian.
And Katie Sackhoff was in Battlestar Galactica. So the Star quintology.
Quintuplet, yeah. So to answer Nev, it was season 8 of 24.
Oh, shoot, it was season 8? I thought it was one of the earlier seasons.
No, I went and looked through seasons 3 and 4, and I was like, this is ridiculous. Then I couldn't spell her name, and so I just went back and I found her.
Two E's.
Yeah,
my mobile phone, I used to have that when I had the old Nokia 17.
Yeah.
I had that ringtone on my phone. I had the CT.
Yes,
yeah, I had that.
absolutely.
That was the ringtone for my mobile phone when I had an old Nokia 7110.
That was my ringtone for years, Nev.
Mine was
10.
Yeah, no, I hated that ringtone. I'm sorry, but the Sony Ericsson ringtone was like nails to a chalkboard for me. How could you have that ringtone on your phone?
24 though. Loved the ringtone. Loved the show. Katie Sackhoff she's a beautiful lady. She is. All right. So, gentlemen, what do you have coming up this week?
GAC.
Yeah, this is where we can talk about it. I depending on how my morning goes, I might be doing my GAC early
Mm-hmm.
and then leading into Neil. If it goes poorly, if it goes just fine, then Neil will be doing his GAC.
Oh yeah,
and
I will be gacking it tomorrow.
I do not know if there will be Jackbox this week. A lot of things are up in the air because of a announcement that I'll be making tomorrow. We'll see how everything goes. After that, we definitely have GA Center coming up on Tuesday. Where is everybody placing? On Thursday, we should have a episode of the Lego Legacy Heroes Unboxed Escape podcast. And we're trying to get a few big names for Friday on the Escape podcast. We'll see what we get. Nev's been plugging away very, 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 very much at that, which I appreciate.
We will see what we will see.
We will see what we will see. But we got a few things that are off the beaten path that'll be fun coming up this 4th season, because this is now the 4th season of the show that just started this past week.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to all of it. I do. I look forward to.
What about you, Thad?
That is a great question. I have a lot of stuff planned, but I just have to sit down and actually edit and shoot all of those planned things. I did actually, without going live, because I went live because I knew we were doing it tonight. I knew that I wouldn't have time tomorrow. I did already do my GAC. I didn't stream it, but I'm excited to share with you the details of this week's attempts. And by that, I'm pretty confident that the Nev is going to rip me an absolute new one.
Yeah.
Because did you win a bunch and end up not adding to your loss total?
No. I won enough and lost enough to just be mediocre this week, unfortunately.
I'm going to tell you this. I got stopped in the front row both times this week so far. Good luck catching me, jackass.
Oh, that's tough. Yeah,
Paul's better at being bad than you are.
He is. He's better at it. I really want that dunce cap, but I think that
you are bad at being bad.
I know. But I'm not good at being good
either.
either.
To beat Paul, you need to be better at being bad than Paul.
I know, and I'm just not there yet.
If you suck at being bad, you're not going to win the Dunce's Cup.
I know, and it's tough, guys. Like, I'm having a really hard time with it. Like, I am. I'm trying to lose.
You had a 2-month head start on Paul. A 2-month head start, and he's overtaken you. That's how bad you are at being bad.
I know.
You've had 4 months of trying to be bad.
Are you 1 and 2, or are you 0 and 3?
I'm 1 and 2.
Okay.
I'm 1 and 2. I lost by like 40 points in the first round. I did really well in the second one, but in the third one, I'm just not going to get it. And so unless my defense holds, which it won't, I'm going to be 1 and 2. So
I'm going for the triple whammy.
Yep. So anyway, so I've got that going. I've also there's some books that I really want to review. I just need to sit down and make time. And I do want to talk about some Star Wars news, not specific to the Mandalorian and some other stuff. So kind of all over the place with my videos this week. So
sounds like a fun set of videos.
Yeah, I think so.
So people should definitely be checking you out.
I agree. Paul, will you take us out of this beautiful fun time?
Absolutely. Guys, thank you for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe to both here on Going Nerdy's channel, Real Going Nerdy on your Twitch dials.
Yes.
You've got your stickers.
I got my stickers.
Go click below and see the little fun things that Thaddeus has put together, including his Audible compensation link. And also Check us out on the Escape Podcast here on YouTube, or head over to just Escape Podcast on Twitch. Give us a like. We have broken 780.
Woo!
We are on the road to 1,000. We'd love to have you just hit that little heart button. Appreciate you. And make sure that you protect those that you love. Wear a mask. Be nice to each other, damn it. And everyone, remember to smile.
And stay nerdy. Should I